Harry says, I love these two, husband and wife power couple. She's the power, I'm the slave. There's no power to it. I'm not completely crunched by her.
I beat him every night.
Yeah, exactly. I forget this power couple.
First thing in the morning and at night, just in case for in the morning and what he's been doing the rest of the day.
SY, we have a girl that has an ocular dermoid at birth. It was removed. We want to breed her, but will the ocular dermoid be passed on? If you get it in a single puppy, almost certainly not. My recommendation is generally if you have something like that and it's in a single puppy, just don't breed to the same stud next time, just in case there is a hereditary function. It's going to take both parties to make it happen. I think it's highly unlikely to come back. Do pregnant mums vomit a week into surgical insemination? This is her second time being bred. She's thrown up a few times and is not eating. Let's see what the replies are here. Okay, so somebody's saying here, second to third week vomit and not eating, which is considered morning sickness. My dear, I believe you have a pregnant dog, which is hopefully is the right answer. But here's the deal.
Take her temperature.
There you go. If you're unclear, because you can pyometria is something that can happen where you get an infection in the uterus. First signs of that are a dog that's drinking a lot of water, restless, and has a high temperature. So just, like Tammy says, 102 or above, go to the vet, get it checked out, maybe get some antibiotics on board, or whatever, depending on what you find out. But probably just morning sickness, and probably just fine. Okay.
I look like I'm having a godly moment.
You do.
That sun coming through there.
Can you send me a link to the lift table for the crate that you mentioned? My back and knees will love you. Sure. I'll find it. See, somebody's got a reply here. Let's see what somebody said.
We need a board underneath ours.
Yes, right. Somebody else asked me something. Yes, I'll get you some information on that. Someone says we need a TV show.
I wished.
So we're talking about how to determine a pregnancy, and CD Great says, I did the flush like doing an AI. Now I'm worried about my dog is going to get an infection. Not if you used water with vinegar in it. That's basically, you're fine. I mean, it's no different than a human being using a feminine hygiene product, which, you know, it happens all the time. So no, it's fine. You're not going to have a problem with this. I mean, very unlikely. Someone's saying thank you. Okay, so someone's asking 3 ways to AI. We've got 3 products that you can buy from us on
mybreedersupply.com.
There it is. So there is a straight AI rod, nothing but an AI rod. If you buy it as a kit from us, you get the AI rod with a, I think it's a 10 cc, so it might be a 13 mil syringe. I like those best for myself because I've done a lot of AIs and I really got a lot of control with that very fine skinny rod. The catheter version of it is the same AI rod, but then you have an assembly with a balloon on the end of it that you can pump up after you put it in the dog and it blows it up in place. I think that that's a good technique for people who have never done one before. It kind of gives you, I mean, you know, yeah, and then we've got the prosthesis, which is the prosthesis, silicone prosthesis. And I think, again, it's a good thing for people who haven't done it before. The only thing I don't like about the silicone prosthesis is it's not a throwaway device. It's fairly expensive. The other ones are throwaway devices. If you're going to use a silicone prosthesis, make sure that you clean this thing up properly and make sure you flush it with some rubbing alcohol to make sure it's cleared up before you put it away. And my phone wants to die. I mean, no, it's not. Giovanni's journey. If my dog has an ear infection, should I wait for the infection to clear before I use the tube? I'm not. Okay. We're talking about the tube. Okay. So I think you're talking about 2 different things here. If your dog has an ear infection, treat it right away. It's very uncomfortable for a dog. You'll see a dog just scratching away on its ear, may even scratch his cheek up in the process because it's irritated so much. Get some treatment for that dog ASAP. I mean, it's not like you've got to go to an emergency clinic. But, you know, just like you would feel very uncomfortable with that, you'd want some relief, and so does your dog. So there's typically two different things that will cause ear infections. There's mites and there's yeast. And there are different creams for each kind, and then there's things that you can buy to dry ears out. Kit the other day was complaining about her ear, wasn't she?
Yeah,
and you used that.
I used the cleaner that I got.
The ear cleaner, which is kind of an alcohol-based ear cleaner.
And it's from my breeder supply off of
Oh, is it?
Oh, what's the name of the
Abundance?
Life Abundance.
Oh, we've got that on there?
Yeah,
I
they
didn't know
sell
that.
that on there.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yes,
Yeah.
they sell ear wash, they sell shampoo.
Okay,
they
well,
sell
great, good.
all kinds of good
Well, for
stuff.
Kitty, it just she got rid of her itching away just overnight. Overnight,
Yeah.
one time deal.
Yeah.
One time deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now if you're talking about a thing on the, so another thing that can happen is they've got a hematoma, which is what the first part, when you're talking about the tube, this idea of wrapping the ear around a tube and putting some tape on it to stop it filling back up with blood. Again, if you've got to find the underlying problem of the hematoma, typically the dog has an ear infection and it's shaking its head like crazy and bashed its ear on something that causes the hematoma. You've got to fix.
Makes me cringe.
Yeah, you've got to fix two things. You've got to fix the hematoma by putting tape on it and draining it, put the tape on it, and you've got to treat the ear so that it doesn't just start shaking its head around again and bashing its ear. So you've got to do both. And now I've lost where I was. Give me a few seconds here.
Oh, by the way, we just did a video with our babies, Kit's little babies, and they're so precious.
Yeah.
And we read off the DNA on there, so you'll know what it is. Just give me a call at 580-799-1910. We can FaceTime those babies to y'all. You can see the babies.
Somebody's asking if we do embark DNA. No, we use animal genetics. So we've got animal genetics on all of our, we know what all of our stud dogs and all of our girls are.
Now, it took us longer this time because apparently the male got lost. And
we're talking about the DNA test on these puppies, yes.
Yeah.
So we DNA our puppies too, by the way.
Yeah, and it took 4.5 weeks before we found out what their DNA was. Because they got testable chocolate. We knew they were fluffy carriers and carrying cocoa, but we didn't know the rest of the ingredient.
Nelson Valdez asked, do you know anything about pigeon-chested Frenchies? Yes.
So do that every video.
Pigeon-chested Frenchies, one where the ribs in the front come out and as a point. And it's different than a flat chest or a chest that goes in. Pigeon-chested probably is a hereditary condition. I did a video on this kind of prosthetic you can put on the chest. I think it would help in some, but I don't know how much.
Yeah, I think the last 3 videos we've done, we've answered those questions. So on my breeder supply, there's a link for the YouTube video on that.
So somebody's here is saying, Jackson says, is there any way to stop shedding?
Bathe them.
Yeah, I mean, it varies by dog.
When the seasons change.
Somebody mentioned that here in the replies the season. Says it's just the season.
The season does it.
When's the season not doing it?
Well, just like wintertime coming on, after the fall, and the weather gets cooler, and then springtime, and so they do their shedding at least 2 times a year. But I mean, if you're not bathing them on a regular basis, that can happen too.
So you can get these gloves that you use to brush dogs. That's probably a good thing to go do if the dog's shedding. Like, take it outside, brush it with that, and get rid of all the loose stuff off. That'll help quite a bit.
I knew Kit there for a while. It was just like coming out.
Kit, yeah.
horribly.
So that's another thing.
She sits in the chair with James and watches the movies, and she's a little spoilt like that.
Yeah.
So, but her hair was just unbelievable, and so more baths, oatmeal is good to bathe them with.
Dogs that are having puppies typically what's called blow their coat as they further along. Kit's right now at week 6. Her coat's got a little bit thinner. She's not too bad with 3 puppies on board. But when you've got a lot of puppies on board, you absolutely can see really shedding of skin where you can almost see through the coat.
Yeah, she's got some hair loss.
Yeah. So. And then some dogs, look, fluffies, as crazy as it sounds, our experience with all of our fluffies is they don't hardly shed at all.
No.
I mean, that's kind of weird.
Don't know why.
Don't know why.
Don't ask us what letters they are, because I couldn't tell you right now without looking.
Somebody here, you want to do some translation French, Tammy?
No.
Pascal Zetmeli. Je l'adore la petite monstre. I love the little monster. and I'm not sure
Yada
who we're
yada
talking
yada
about.
yada 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 yada. Saw that on what is it? Seinfeld. They were saying yada yada yada.
So, Elaine Blachette, I bought a machine from you and my figures don't match my vet within 30 minutes apart. I've tried to contact you, but you guys hang up on me. I don't think that sounds like us. It's not us at all. No, we don't ever hang up on anybody.
No.
Just call me. My number's up there. Just call me. I'll help you
My
out.
number's up there, but
Yeah.
if they've got a different machine than the Wanfo, then yeah, the numbers are going to be different. But must have not tried to call back.
Yeah, we don't hang up on people.
No, unless we get
No.
cut off,
Well, it
battery
happens.
on
It
the
happens.
phone
And we
goes
call you
dead.
back. Well, we call you back
You
if
know,
that happens.
call back.
Yeah. Right, let's just try one more. Can you go to FedEx? Or we
I'm
did it
going to
way
go
back.
wash my car first.
Love your channel. Frenchie was at 3.4 on day 10. Thursday, Saturday, 2 days later, she dropped down to 1.4. Today she's at a 12. Did I miss her? No, you didn't miss her. So if she's at a 12 today, you want to breed her about half a day later for a vaginal, and a day and a half later for a surgical or a TCI. So you're okay. You can still get it done.
Woo! Goodness. Hello, sunshine.
Somebody's asking about what vets do we use, so we'll just finish the whole thing on this.
What
So
vets? We've got about 5.
yeah, so we've got, so in Texas, if you're in the Panhandle, then you can go to Wheeler Veterinary Clinic. You get 2 vets for the price of 1. Their C-section prices are crazy inexpensive. If you're in middle of Oklahoma, then there's a number of vets that we go to. One that we use a lot is Heartland Medical. Dr. Wagamoth, Marilyn Moth, has her own Frenchies that she actually has used our studs for.
And Dr. Thorne.
She's great. Dr. Thorne, who's out in
Territorial.
Metal. What's one of the
Clinton and
Arapaho?
Weatherford.
What's one of the Arapaho?
Arapaho is Arapaho Veterinary Clinic.
Okay. So they're in the western
They're
part
really
of the state.
just on the other side of Clinton.
Yes,
They're
west
not
of
in Arapaho.
Right.
They're just on the other side.
Then if you're in Oklahoma City, you've got one that's in Kingfisher, who I've just learnt about.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. No. All right. No. She doesn't know. There's one that does a lot of Frenchy stuff. Is if you're in Dallas, and that is Durant Animal Hospital. Dr. Mills. He does a lot of Frenchies, and he's in that 350 mark again. Very inexpensive for a C-section. Not because they don't do a good job. They're just a lot less expensive. Typical price for a C-section out here in Oklahoma varies between a low end of $250. Typically $600 to $800 is the norm. As high as $1,200.
I'm doing the.
It could be, if you go
5
to emergency
days
clinic,
come
it could be a
back,
lot more than that.
And I don't want the oil
And
on my tires.
that's about it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.